Hi everyone, and welcome to another video tutorial by Nitro Cosplay. Today we're going to be looking at gluing your EVA pieces together, so let's go and take a look. So in front of us we've got our contact adhesive. Other brands and stuff are available. This is what I use though. You could also use hot glue or super glue. I don't really like hot glue or super glue for getting a good seam. That's why I choose to use the contact adhesive. The stuff's pretty smelly, so I'd advise wearing a mask or keeping the windows open when using the contact adhesive. So I've just got some pieces of foam in front of me. I'm just going to be gluing that section back onto there just to show you, and this end piece I'm going to be gluing upright like that. So just a few different sections to glue together. It's all quite easy, so I'll go ahead and get started on that. One of the things you might have heard some other prop builders talking about is registration marks. So what we do here is we've got the foam in the right position, and we're just going to be marking on there very gently there with the biro, just where we want our foam to actually, where it lines up perfectly, so there and there. And what I'm going to do with this upright section here, I'm going to place it onto my foam in the position that I want. So I'm going to line up all the edges, make sure everything is all nice and perfect, and then I'm just going to run the pen along that edge there, because when using contact adhesive, there's the mark there, that's 10mm the thickness of the foam. When using contact adhesive, we don't really want to be getting it anywhere that we don't want it. So it's quite key that we only put contact adhesive exactly where we want it. So again, I'm going to line these two edges up here. It's not really, doesn't really matter for this section, but we'll line the two edges up there, and we'll just jot on our registration marks. So there and there, there and there, and there and there. Right, now when applying contact adhesive, you're going to want a nice thin coat. So I'm going to take my glue spreader. I'm just going to be applying a nice thin coat to the foam, trying not to spill anywhere that we don't want any glue showing, because it can really detract from a good prop if you've got glue spills everywhere, and it's kind of hard to get rid of as well once the prop's built. If you've got glue seams everywhere, it's kind of hard to get off the prop, especially if you're looking at sanding it. So just take your time when applying your contact adhesive, nice and slowly. You might have noticed I've got another glue spreader here. What I've done is I've actually tapered off the edge on this one just with a pair of scissors. It makes, when working with smaller pieces, a lot easier, so when, as I say, we're not getting glue everywhere. Okay, now contact adhesive does take a few minutes to dry before you can actually use it to glue onto the prop, so I'm going to pause the video here and wait for the contact adhesive to dry, and I'll pick up you all again in a minute. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of minutes and you'll see that the glue's now gone. You can see that it's dry, it hasn't got that wet look to it anymore. One thing I did forget to mention is always make sure if you're using contact adhesive, put the lid back on so it doesn't dry out when you're gluing your pieces together. So first of all, we're going to start with this nice easy one here. So we're just lining up those marks as we go, nice and gently there. Alright, and then just apply some gentle pressure to it, just so that, as the name suggests, it's contact adhesive, so we want good contact. Alright, and that's the first one back together as it was. You'll see you can hardly see that there's a seam there at all, which is going to be ideal, especially once it's painted. That won't even be visible. So let's move on to the other one where we're going to be doing the upright section. Just remember I had the registration marks there, so we'll start at the bottom and we'll work our way up. So now it's in position, I'm just applying some gentle pressure there just to get some good contact between the two parts that have been glued. Okay, so that's how we glue the two sections together. And again, in this section you can see you can hardly see the seam there at all, especially once that's painted. That would be lovely. So there we have it guys, that's how we're using our contact adhesive. That's how we keep our seams nice and tight together, and we're keeping everything nice and clean. Okay guys, so that was our quick little video tutorial on using contact adhesive for your props that we'll be doing. I will be covering a little bit more advanced gluing, so once foam's been heat formed and it's got curves etc to it, I will be covering that in later tutorials. That was just a really quick basic guide to get you guys started on your props. So keep it Nitro Cosplay for more videos, tips, tricks and tutorials to come.